Hello. Hi, everybody. What's up? So, yeah. We're going to have a nice little chat today. No, actually, we're not going to chat a lot. I pretty much intend just to be quite silent today and keep working. But I have to say, there's something really interesting going on here with the cats right now. Okay. One just jumped on my desk. Interesting. So, yeah, today we are going to work on the next asset that I'm planning to release on the Unity Asset Store. And this one is going to be much more expensive than the previous asset that I have. I want to go for something like $20 or euro, around something like that. And but there's a lot of cleanup code to do. So actually the project is pretty much in a usable state, but it's not in a cleaned up state, and that's what we are going to do right now. And in the end, when we are finished with all the cleanup, which is not going to happen today, it's going to take a lot of time till we finished all of that. When we finished that, we will able to make some art for it. So make a sample scene, make some nice little looking samples for it, and call it a day. Okay, so let's get started. So right now we're seeing here are some tasks. These are from yesterday. But I made another plan somewhere. Maybe in Word. Oh yeah, here. And we want to go pretty much just through here and call it a day. Cut distance points in parallax point function. Okay, so get started. Yeah, here in Unity editor, and I just got this error here. Screen position out of view frustum. I don't know exactly why this comes up, but it regularly comes up right now. It seems to be something with the new Unity version. And I assume this is trying to get the camera out of this function right here. This is the function screen to world point. And it says that the screen position is out of view frustum. So what is the view frustum? What is the frost? What is that? Okay, so that's the first thing that we have to do right here, is to admit that we have to understand what this is supposed to be. So it says it's the cone. The camera cone. Like if you know how the camera works, you immediately know how it is. This part here normally is not projected. Here's the start of the camera, here's the end, and it says the screen is not inside of this. What? Oops. This is really hard to get. What does it mean? I mean, how is that even possible? So interesting, Discord did not open up. Or whatever. So if this is the screen, I don't know. This is the camera frustum, and it says the screen is not inside of here. So maybe like this. Now the screen is not inside of the camera frustum, but now at the moment it would also not be inside of the frustum. Now we would be inside of the frustum. That's how I would understand it. Are we inside? Yeah, we are inside of this cone, frustum. Okay. Why do we need that? Well, what do we want to do? Screen to world point. And it seems to always throw this error when it's compiling. So maybe we should just tell him to shut up when it's compiling. Because or it says, because I give it the mouse position, the mouse, if it's outside, if it's on my third screen or something, that it has problems with that. But it's weird. I don't really understand what's going on here, to be honest. I know where it's coming from, but I don't understand why. And once we understand what's happening, it's going to make it much easier once we have the correct analysis to get off this error for good. Because all the ideas that I have right now, they are more like guesses what we need to do, but I actually don't have a real idea. Now the thing is, this is a little bit internal. Even if I had access to it, if this would be a project completely done by an internal studio, I still would go to the programmer who programmed it and ask him for help instead of really reading all the code, because this can get irritating very fast. Or we could just catch it, because we don't have a problem. Normally I don't do that, but I will probably just catch the error here. Analysis first. What is this supposed to do? Let's look what we want to do here. Mouse to world. Was used in this line on scene. Let's see if can see if it's compiling. I don't think we can check if it's compiling right now. No. We can't do that. Yeah. Hmm. Excuse me. So the method is used in two events. When we on a specific key press, or if there's no key press at all, it's used anyway. This is why we only get one error, because we don't have a key press right now. So one easy method would be to return if it's compiling or something. Let's go on. Have to go to the toilet. Let's go on. Just need my cat real quick. Ah. Komm her, du. She's not too happy about that. Besser? Gonna make a comment here. What does this function actually do? Because I'm reading through this and I got an idea very quick, but I think the comments here could be improved. Yeah. So this is pretty much useless when we are compiling. When we are compiling, we don't want if we are compiling, shouldn't do anything. Don't want to do anything when it's compiling. So what this is supposed to do is, if once you have drawn anything with a brush. Don't see any brush in here. Why is that? Because I commented out everything. Okay, I commented this out because I didn't know where certain errors were coming from. That's why I commented it out. So we have this test brush, and we don't have anything to draw on right now. So we can just draw on this time map actually, and it will work. Interesting, but it's supposed to be done like this. Go through a bunch of options. We have to change this process. And we have an error. Oh yeah, yeah. We have to catch this. So. In this case, I brought in the sorting layer 1, which does not exist. It only has the default layer, which is number 0. Can we catch that? See, sorting layer dot there an exist function. We can just count. So with the default layer, it has 1. So if this is smaller than the sorting layer, or the sorting layer is smaller than 0, then we want to catch that. We set the sorting layer to expression is always false. Why is this always false? I think it could be negative. So it's an integer. Oh, I want to say or. Log warning. Sorting layer. We'll do that. You know, sorting. How do we do this? This is very basic. C reference variable in a string. I normally do this always with plus, but should probably just learn how to do that with a reference. Percent? No. Oh, what would they do with that? think it's with the dollar sign. Always see that, and it's very basic. Simply add and. It's like that. No. If I see it, I will immediately recognize what I mean. Backslash. It's not recognized. And this is Rust. No, I want to go into Rust. No, I don't want to do this in Rust. Yeah, I want to do something like this. Okay, let's try it out like this. No. I don't know. Holy shit. This is so basic. Okay. We have to think you have to use the dollar sign in front. And then can open up brackets inside. Does this recognize anything? Yes. Actually, that does something. Okay. Okay, do I need these brackets? No. Okay. It's something that I should keep doing, because as I said, this is actually pretty basic, and think most programmers are able to figure that out. So in this case, it didn't catch the error. So the length is 1. Sorting layer is 1. 1 is not smaller than 1. We could make an equal comparison. So if it's 1 and 1, will still trigger. If the sorting layer would be 0, it wouldn't throw error message. Okay, let's try that again. And this time it actually caught our error. Did not find sorting layer 0 does not exist. Setting sorting layer to default layer. Okay. That's good. Maybe we should give the hint that this is a 0 then. And you could also just write the sorting layer. Because in here the sorting layer actually has a name. Just a little bit confusing. Because there's also built-in layer 1. It's actually a little bit irritating. So this probably needs to be changed to some kind of name in the end. In the end, I want the user to have a drop-down menu, and then we are going in the code. We're still going to work with the numbers, but it would be better if you go through here. I need to select something. If you go through here, right now you can type in a number, but that has to go away. There needs to be a drop-down menu with these sorting layers. Okay. Maybe we should write that down so we don't forget it. Changes to new timelapse. Timelapse equation window. Sorting layers are a drop menu. Okay. Yummy. Okay, now let's try to do what we want here. And don't really know why this is giving me errors right now. Okay, this is new actually. I think it's supposed. I think it's supposed to pick this time map when I click on it. Okay, bunch of errors. I'm going to sit down. I also see some lag here. Okay, it says this is not set to an item, to an object. We do not exactly know which object it means, but we can debug it. So a bunch of new errors. I think these are just because of the new Unity version, but we can try to catch more error messages. As I said, I coded this on I think 23 version, and it's still a bit annoying when you're upgrading that you sometimes get random new errors. I don't know where this is coming from. The error before with the Rustum is also new. Doesn't tell me much what is actually going on inside of the engine, but this error here can actually try to catch it. And we want to see what is inside of this brush property. Maybe we don't even have the brush tuple. Do we have it? I don't know. Just give me that. Try to print it out. If this cannot be printed out, then we know exactly that the reference is not there. Okay, let's go again and see what kind of error message do we get. And we don't get anything. That's not what we want. Ah, there it is. Okay. So I think item 1 has not been set. Could that be correct? Let's go up here. Here it says B2 test brush. And here, when we get the error, it only says B2. So whatever is supposed to be in the brush tuple is missing the brush. Why? So now we can go down the error message and see the brush tuple has been created right here and is supposed to fetch from this used brush. Hmm. So essentially what's going on here is it says one of the brushes, it doesn't tell us which one has a problem. And if I say paint on group, you see that the error is gone. So it's not this brush. It's not this brush. That's so weird. It seems like all the brushes are set correctly. But once we try to pick all of them, then it seems to be one that is not set. Let's clear that out again. And look. Seems to immediately not work on the first brush. So it displayed 6 errors. which would be equivalent to 6 time maps we're trying to draw on. And these time maps here, they have a brush property which is not set. What? So I think it's supposed to work like this. That you have the test brush as a name inside of here, and then the error will be gone. Let's test that out. Yeah, and the error, now we don't get errors. Okay. So this still leaves a bunch of questions. I go on this time map and it immediately knows that I want to use the test brush. How does it know that? So the information needs to be somewhere, but it's not on this time map actually. I think I tried to make this a drop-down menu and it just didn't work because reasons. But how does it know that we want to use the test brush if it's not inside of here? Because there's no property that could tell it that we want to use the default brush. But if we click any of these layers here, it automatically switches to the test brush. Or does it? Let's delete all of them. Oh, no, it has to be inside of this field. So we have to catch what if the brush is not inside of this field? Oh. So if we go inside of here, say paint on the group, which is correctly giving us a problem here. And so the problem is pretty easy. It's because we don't have a brush selected, so we can't actually use this function here. Now we have another error. This error here will be quite easy to fix. It's not the least of our problems. So we need to go to this function, this right, and see where it checks the use brushes. And here we have to make a check if this brush base can be used as the brush. So can we do that? No. How do we do that? AI assistant, can you? The AI assistant understand that? In JavaScript, no. In C#, please. Okay, is merge cars. What? No. Then we need to make a return. And debug. Dot. So now we need to throw a warning or an error. I think it's a warning, not an error. Because an error would demand that we fix something. No. Washes. No. Could not find. Need to rename the class, by the way. When the game object brush does not fit anymore. A tile brush, tile game check brush or something. Tile game. I named this game object, just like the project name, game object. Tile brush. And this is how we are going to rename this class. Now this could be problematic, but let's just try. Game object tile brush. Because it's the name of the project and this is the core class. Okay. So we should have an error maybe. Normally it's something like this. Does not work well. No, nothing new. Only the camera position. That still needs to be fixed. But let's go on here. In reference. And then we want to get the name of that timer. Okay, let's try that out. This is going to catch our error here? Not really. No, it doesn't seem to have a problem. Is there a problem with the lock, maybe? So I can't draw on anything. So it's still not working, but it also doesn't do anything. Also, this should be is not. So we actually aren't even catching. How do we I mean, we could just put this in brackets and make a yeah, this is called sign called. Okay, it's not a question mark. It's logical not operator. Yeah, that's actually not what I wanted to hear. That's what I know. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. Okay. Not question mark. Exclamation mark. Okay. So this straight up uses to be problematic. We cannot draw with this now. It's interesting. Seems like we cannot draw at all. Are we drawing something? No. I'm also irritated, why are there two? Time maps in here. I think this one is pretty useless. Yeah, but this is another problem. Real problem is over here. Oh, we don't have cells anymore. Okay. I think it's maybe because of the name change. So that's the actual problem. So we actually need some prefabs in here. So that's okay. That's nothing that we need to fix. The problem was because we changed the name of the classes and then it reset the whole brush. And now we can see, if we have that enabled, that it throws an error. It doesn't let us draw. And then we'll just stop. We'll throw warnings the whole time because this field is supposed to be filled out. It's something that we also need to work on, why is this not automatically filled out? But first of all, we just saw that there's an issue that we are running into, and instead of first fixing that this error occurs by just writing in the brush like this. This is the amateur way how you do this. That you would just write it into that or something. First you just go and say, okay, now we catch that error. If it can occur to everyone. Yeah. Now there's so many lines of code that we cannot catch everything that can occur here. There's probably billions of things that can be going wrong in here, but this specific one, it occurred to us, so can probably just give the user, if it occurs to him too, give him a hint why this is happening and how to fix it. Okay. So we could probably, if you click here, you see that it snaps to the tile. If we draw something in, maybe we could also do something about that, I'm not sure. But we could also not do that. Or just fix the preview. Because right now this behaves too much like a normal brush. As I said, I rule out at the moment that we are going to change that. And now we're going to look into, if you go through here, now it wants to pick us a brush, and we didn't select a brush, we did select none. That's why I did not put a brush inside. Okay, that's okay. So we're going to change that later. We cancel this. It's okay. Now it's, a bunch of stuff will not work correctly. And we're going to cut a lot of corners first before we want to fix anything inside of there. We can, however, we look into this pick brush window. Here it is, and it has this nice little list with brushes. And the first option is none. That's interesting. So maybe we want to add none last. So we at default do not want to have none ever inside of here. I'm not even sure. Oh, we need none for, in case there's no brush at all that exists. Yeah. We're going to add that last. So this way, if we go in here and say says I should select something first. You go in here. It will automatically select the brush first, so if I just click myself through this, I will automatically have a brush selected. And now we can see the brush inside of here. We can use our group function to then... I can even rotate it. That's cool. To then use our draw function, say keep your rotation, and then this dynamic reference point, draw this in, and now we have this parallax effect. That's cool. I mean, there's a bunch of options that we didn't use here, but that's okay. Let's look into the console and see if we have any errors. We have a bunch of errors. Good. Okay, but this error here, I'm going to fix that. Oh, and actually we messed up when I messed up when I was constructed the timer players and set the layer to 1, and it set it automatically to default layer 0. So it caught that error. Nice little error catching. Now for the next one. So this one is, yeah, I also can catch it, but this one is something that I don't want to write anything about, because that gives us a lot of question. So we don't want this to throw any error when it's compiling, and I don't know exactly what the problem is, why it says you can see it's not throwing any errors wherever I move the mouse. I move my mouse over all the space on my desktop here, and there's no problem. But when it's compiling, it says that I don't know if understand this really. It says that the camera cone frustum is not in the scene view. What was the let's get this again. The screen position is out of the view raster. And there's a lot of questions. Which screen? Is it all screens? Is it this main screen? Which camera? Why does it throw errors when we're compiling, but it stops once it's finished compiling? Why does this error exist now in Unity 6? Why does it not exist? Why does this specific error not exist in the versions before Unity 6? Or which version or update of Unity did bring this in? Now this is not a critical thing. We don't need to stop here and downgrade Unity to another version. We will finish the asset in this Unity version, but yeah, all these questions don't have an answer for me right now. I don't know what kind of view frustum it uses. It's the view frustum, not the camera. It's not the main camera actually, I think. So what is the view frustum? Is it the space that Unity uses for all the screens that makes an imaginary camera for the editor? What is it? And then it says there's a camera rect, but it doesn't. I don't think that it is this cam, or is it? Let's deactivate the cam. Or let's copy the cam and delete it. Now let's recompile and see if this throws an error again. It does. So this is definitely not the main camera. Some camera that it uses some kind of camera for the editor window. And it doesn't work while it's compiling or directly after compiling. I think what happens here is that for the first frames of after it's compiling, it's restarting its system. It's restarting something. Or it has some kind of order where something here is not set to its values. I'm absolutely guessing. That's my guess, that there's some kind of order where it's doing this thing, and it first has some frames until it sets this view rostrum or the screen position. One of those two is not set for some frames after it compiles, and then it sets the position correctly. So this is a really annoying thing. And it's cocked inside of this function. So this is actually cocked as an error. So we could just say, okay, no problem. Then it's already cocked and an error is thrown. But if a user uses this and always gets 93 error messages once he compiles anything, that's absolutely terrible. Let's see what options we have to catch this error. Try. And this is the actual thing. We need the try and catch block. Might be able to get away with just nulling this. On default. And then probably want to debug E first and see what this does. So this didn't do, I think. No, that didn't do. Let's try something out. Let's clear this. I recompile and I move the mouse. And let's see if the position in here did change. No. Which is interesting. Interesting. It's interesting, but it doesn't help much. Let's recompile, but click into this screen view. Still gave us one error message. Okay, a little bit irritated here. So I'm not sure what it's doing right here. It's throwing out this error exactly 93 times every time, and the 94th time is new, and it's rounding the values of the mouse. So it's starting to do something, but we don't know. We don't know what, and actually we don't care really. We just want to know the mouse, if we can somehow determine some kind of if clause where we can catch this behavior. Like if the mouse is not inside the cone, so a mouse not inside view Roston, then we want to make a return here. Yeah, but I don't know what exactly to do. And in this exception, it has not been caught that this try and catch. I think it's because it's going inside of here and then it's going to throw this error out. And then it says, okay, this handles actually this handles the issue. So we don't ever go back in here and can go on. Can we? Do we have an E somewhere? Just debug log. Oh no, we would see a debug log. Yeah, which is not an error. So we didn't catch the exception really. Do we have a bool? No. So we can still with the documentation. So we don't have an eye here. Oh, I think I can get something. Where's this camera from? Cam. It's a scene cam. It's interesting. We will continue to we will continue to read the documentation though. It's something that's interesting. So this is from a camera, and we can see if it's picking a weird camera that we don't want. Let's see. So returns description: transform a point from screen space to world space, where world space is defined as the coordinate system at the very top of your game's hierarchy. Okay, so it's transform screen space into world space. And world space is always the top of the game's hierarchy. I don't know really what they want to say with that, but yeah, it's screen space to world space. But that's why we use that function basically. World space coordinates can still be calculated even when provided as an off-screen coordinate. That's why if I move the mouse out of here, it still is supposed to work. Let's get on with it. For example, for instantiating an off-screen object near a specific corner of the screen. So if you click somewhere and want to draw something somewhere and it's not inside of the scene view, it would still possibly work if the guy who codes it wants it so. To make sure the world space point is part of the camera's view volume, the Z coordinate you provide must be between the camera's near clip plane and far clip plane. To make sure the world space point is part of the camera's view volume, the Z coordinate you provide must be between the camera's near clip plane and far clip plane. I think this is where we get the error from. That we have a Z coordinate that is not between the value the clip planes of the cam. For reasons we don't know what camera it's using right now. Yeah, I think it's not using the camera that we want, or it's using a null camera. That could also be the case that the camera is null. So I want to debug log what kind of camera we use. Debug.log. Okay, I think, yeah, I have caps on. Camera name. Plus. Name. Maybe this will help us get more information. And then we don't need to zero that position. For now. What? No, I didn't want to go into vector 3. Okay, I will look into what it will tell me now. Now it says seeing camera. Seeing camera. So it has a camera and it's the same. That's unfortunate. So we cannot sort by the camera. So that's not the problem. I hope that Unity maybe had a new bug there. That we can just say, okay, if the camera is null, we can then just get rid of this problem. That doesn't seem to be the case. But I still think that something about the camera properties is going to change. I also don't know what this rect is. It's a rect. But a rect is not a frustum. Rect is just, if it's a frustum, it's a three-dimensional kind of cube. And a rect is just one side of the cube. So it's a little bit hard to see. And we can also see the rect has two null positions. I don't know. This is the Z coordinate, which is null. It should be inside of nearly any camera that is set up. But if the camera is set up automatically that does not have a null Z coordinate, it's a little bit weird. And maybe get more properties. We can just compare more information until we get what changes. We know that the Z coordinate does not change significantly. I don't think that the mouse position reference is going to have any influence on that, because it says if the mouse is outside of the camera frame, it doesn't throw an error. So whatever we put inside of these two doesn't matter. It says it only cares for the Z coordinate. According to our little documentation here, the Z coordinate must be between the near and far clip plane. So maybe, so the documentation actually helps. This is why I really like the documentation. So we can maybe just get us the far clip plane, the near clip plane, and say if they are not, if there's something weird, just don't do anything. Stop what you're doing. Yeah, because then I don't know what Unity is doing, but we don't want to do anything either. Yeah, that's the point here. Yeah, and I will still think about something that maybe is a little bit more, makes a little bit more sense than just breaking. But I'll write a little comment, because I have a little guest here. You can, which I would like to show you. Far clip, check far clip. Here, clip, okay. That's the 0Z coordinate. Okay, so our little guest, which is really, I think this is really cool, is standing over there. There he is. He's waiting for me. And what he's doing there is he wants me to go outside with him. So he likes to do his little walk. Unfortunately, I will not walk him today. I just walked him on Sunday, which was really cool. But he will stand there, and if I don't get him out soon, he will start to demand more attention. Okay, so let's go and walk him. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've just walked my little friend outside. I fixed the camera real quick. Okay. Great. Okay. Check something. It's that the screen can. Also, interestingly, it won't let me go. The camera, I think the cam that I have is sometimes a little bit weird, because you can see some weird lines going all over the cam space. I think I saw vertical lines too, but I think that's just my imagination. Okay, that's really weird. Also looks like I have something there, but there's nothing there. A little bit with the cam. Okay, now we have the yeah, we have all these messages here. Interestingly, that they that it still prints all the messages, even though it has a syntax error, something that wouldn't work in one time. Okay, I want to get clip plane. Maybe do it like this. Camera name. Let's check if there's changes inside of the far clip plane or near clip plane. Okay. No. It's a little bit weird that 0 is not between those two values here, and it does not throw any error. Let me try putting in a 1. This will still throw an error when recompiling. Yeah, okay. That's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. Okay. So I actually don't know where the error is coming from. So let's 0 all 3 of them. and see if this is going to change anything. We're trying different things. I think it still throws an error. We're just trying to do different things. And see, now we have one error. Oh, this is a different class. This maybe explains why we had two different values. So it seems like we can get rid of the arrow if we zero the mouse position, which we actually don't want to do, because that's what we want to work with. It seems like the Z position, therefore, is not doing anything. I mean, it is this this is a problem of Unity, because if they give you this function and you plug anything else than 0, 0 inside, it does not work and throws errors. It's probably useless for editor functions. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be working for editor functions. If they've written it so normally it would be the game camera. Then I would also not know what is their intended way to do this. So we could go into Discord and Unity forums and ask what it is actually meaning. Oh, what do they do here? That's interesting. Let's plug in the camera near plane inside, because they do that in the documentation. I think it's a little bit weird. No, we still get an error then. Yeah, we still get error messages. So I'm a little bit confused what the camera rect is doing. Maybe we could also try out the far clip plane, which shouldn't do anything. Oh, that didn't do anything. But did it? No, that didn't do it. So let's plug in the near clip plane as the Z coordinate, because that is pretty much a failsafe for the near for the Z coordinate. However, let's not fix our real problem here. So, could think about this, but I know this works most of the cases. So let's open up Paint. And I think what it's doing is this is the camera cone. And this is the camera cone. These are going to meet somewhere. Now this is not accurate, so this line would be extended until they meet somewhere over here. Yeah, so this is not true. And now we have our mouse position inside of that cone. I think something's weird. And I think it's just more like this. Yeah. This is a cam. This is a cam, and then we have these lines over here. This is if you would just extend these lines. This is where the camera would meet its end, and now the mouse position is supposed to be somewhere inside of here. And if it isn't, it's going to throw an error. And I think normally the camera is positioned so that here are my 4 screens. Oh, so here are my 4 screens. It would be like so. And then it would say, hey, here's the mouse position inside of these screens. And this is the monitor 0. So here would be the 0 position or something. Yeah. I think this is how it's working. And doing compilation, this fails in some way. So it's a cam. First of all, I don't know where the screens are inside of this space. I don't know. it looks like this is I've a 1440p monitor, and these values are both smaller than 1440p. Do we have more camera information? Yes, we do have more. There's one more crucial information. Oopsie. So now let's see what the camera rect is going to tell us. So this is also the same. So the camera tells us no change yet. So we don't really find something that changes with the cam. That sucks. Because no, we are none the wiser. None the wiser. So we know that for some reason it says now the camera is, the mouse position is not inside the camera. So what moved? The mouse move? Did the camera move? It could be that the mouse moves into a weird position. Let's check that out. Is it maybe that this line of code is pixel height that makes us throw the error? No. Which is unfortunate. And oh, actually it did not throw an error this time. That's weird. Let's compile again. Put the mouse somewhere where it's not on screen, and here the error is in here again. I don't know. I also don't know why we have to put the camera pixel height. Maybe it's because it's flipped. I think that would be the problem. We saw with the brush that the function is actually working without any changes inside of here though, so I wouldn't think that there's a problem with this, but we can try this out. Let's comment this out again. Go inside of here, get a bunch of errors, and try to draw. And we see now the height is actually not correct anymore. So this line of code, I think it's because it's flipped, because of just how wide the camera pixel height. Sometimes it's flipped for reasons. Sometimes for historical reasons, or it doesn't matter. Yeah. Sometimes this is flipped, so we flip this mouse reference point to the correct position. Let's do this. This will bug out the function. And you can now see the position is also always 0, 0 here. So we can also guess where the positions are. Interestingly though, it now throws more errors than before, which is I don't have an explanation for that. Yeah, but it definitely references this line. So let's maybe 0 the I position just for testing. See if we get errors. Yeah, so it is actually quite dramatic. So we know, we have a good guess what happens. But we have what we are missing here is any way to detect the problem and to so Unity has a way to detect the problem, and we also need to prevent the problem and prevent it from happening, catch it, and we need to handle it. Yeah, that's the correct term. Of course, the cause of the error is absolutely difficult to justify. I don't think this should have gone through Unity's testing, or that they should release a version like this, but who knows what happened, or if they defined that this function now is to be used differently and they want the users to use a different function in the editor mode. Let's maybe look at that, because so it's talking about cameras here and not the view, the point in the scene view. The only thing that is a little little bit concerning for me is that we don't want that this seems like they want it to be used with a cam and probably not with a scene camera, and I don't know. Let's look that up. Unity, get mouse position in editor. Maybe there is a better way. So this guy also works with a cam. Everything that is working with a cam, we can rule it out immediately. So maybe we should work with the GUI utility, because working with the camera here is actually a little bit weird. Oh. 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 No, 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 no. I know which camera this is. This is the camera for the scene view. This, yeah, this of course. This is the camera that we are working with. So it's kind of weird that it's not throwing an error if I move the mouse outside of its frame. Is there actually a way to check it? No, not. So if you want a bool, you can just write an if, and then it should show us what kind of booleans the camera can provide us with. And these are not booleans. It's weird because they are booleans. And I thought it would immediately just give us them first. So we are probably just going to read through this. So these are properties, we don't want to skip them. So there's a ton of options for this point, to get the point where the mouse is, or where specific things in this screen space are. I think this is especially for games that use things like I click somewhere and want to select my units. And this is why you need all these 3D mouse position functions. Which is nice and all, but this rules out then the actual first thing that I thought, like, hey, this is a flat UI that I have, and I want to draw on it. Yeah, that's not going to work. Because this is really a space inside the camera, and we need the world coordinates in that. Maybe we need to look into the error again. Let's get this out of here. Look into the error and Google it again. If there's human to report on that if Unity is going to fix this, because I'm not convinced that this is in our hands anymore. This guy here checks for a very weird Z position. Also, this camera rack is pretty small. Don't think that's the problem. Well, he said it's only in orthographic mode. I doubt that. I think it's also going to be displayed now. Oh no! What? Okay, save up again. Put the mouse outside of the scene view. Yeah, this is too odd, because there's this problem gives a lot of questions, but no answers. Too odd. And once we set it to orthographic, to D, it will throw errors. Now I'm pretty sure that in the old project, let's open up the source project, and I'm pretty sure that this error is not existent in there. It's 2022.3. Yeah, so this is going to take a bit, I guess. I'm going to debug this onto my second screen. Actually, it's taking longer than it should. But also says this is the screen position. Well, it's still weird because we can plug in 00. Yeah. We can't plug in 00 and it will work. Okay, let's look at this project over here. And it's complaining about VCS because I did set up this project new, but let's just look at these functions over here. Put this into draw mode. Select time map. I cannot draw. Why? Oh, there's no objects inside. It's a little bit unfortunate because I actually I think it's not working because the brushes that it wants to use brushes that it wants to use how do I put it? They don't have any game objects assigned because did reset the brushes unintentionally. Okay, now let's just recompile this and see if we get an error. No, just because of VCS we get an error. But everything else seems to be fine. So this has the same functions, it has the same code as the other project, but it looks like the function here is not bugged. Yeah. The only thing is I didn't configure this with VCS. We'll do that someday, but I will currently have this project on hold. Yeah, that's hard. So yeah, but what does it tell us? It doesn't tell us anything because we now know. Okay, this is a new bug. It came with some version, and we don't know how to how to catch it. But damn, this is annoying. This bug actually is not keeping us from doing anything. It's just super annoying for people to work with if they have that in their project. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I can just normally work with this, no problem. But once I would be working on my project and recompile anything, whoop, you get 100 error messages every time. Would I get it if I just select anything else here and I'm not inside of the tile palette? I think now it will not, but I'm not sure. No, it will still throw errors. So, because it's active all the time. Is it active now? Yeah, it's active all the time. We actually only want to do this if the brush is selected. It's something that we can improve, because I don't want this function to do anything if it's not in use right now. Oh, no, we actually want this function to work all the time, but I think it's not good to have this inside of the brush. Now we could also try to say, I think it's only doing things when we click, or now it has a preview. So that's the preview. So we need it inside of the brush. So the next thing that we are going to do is to write out the mouse positions and see if we have a significant change inside of that. Because we see the C camera doesn't show any significant change. I'm also changing my headset because my ears are starting to Okay, let's go. We're going to do the same thing, but debug log, the mouse position. And it's just a 3D position, so we can just debug log it like this. And as we can see, this doesn't look suspicious at all. No, that also does not change in any significant way. So we can rule out that the mouse position reference has a weird value. We can rule out that the camera really points more and more to a Unity version bug, which is the last thing we want, because first of all, reporting on that I've been in the Unity forums and reporting bugs, and the usual thing is that you don't get an answer. That's the main issue that I have with it. And yeah. So only in autographic mode. Maybe that is something that we can try to catch. We haven't checked why it's only in autographic mode. So this is recent. No, it's not. What? Oh, 3 months later, not 3 months ago. Damn. This is a weird Z position, which is kind of risky. So nothing that has a strong correlation with the exact problem that we have, which is problem. I can imagine that with normal camera, this problem would pop up a lot of times, and actually it's fine. But in our case, it's a little problem. So this one is also quite self-explanatory. Here's screen pause, infinite. Of course, this is going to be a problem. If you plug in infinite in here, a lot of people have huge Z value in here, and I don't know why people do this. Doesn't make sense to me, to be honest. Very hard. Also, this guy, it says screen position infinite. He's plugging in the wrong values. If you plug in infinite values, of course it's going to throw an error. Yeah. Okay, let's not get frustrated and just keep googling. I'm just going to say let's just keep googling because we know exactly what is going on. It's just that we don't know how to solve it. Okay, these solutions here, they get off more and more. And now we are not even in the Unity error space anymore. Okay, now let's get back to number 1. So nobody seems to use scene camera, which is problematic for our search. There's something that seems to be recent here. Okay, that was everything. Okay, Google doesn't help us. So the next thing that we could do is ask people. Was just randomly ask, go into the forums and write that down. That is the thing that I will do in half an hour if we don't find a solution. We can still just ask in the Unity forum if somebody else has found this problem, because as I said, I don't see that we did anything completely stupid. It's obviously we're using the function right now and it's working completely fine. I clear this, and stop debugging. We see this using the function right now. I can see that you can see that this function seems to stop when the mouse is not inside of the view. And it would be pretty fine if we could test if the mouse is inside of this window. But can we do that? We have this scene. Let's see if we have more options with the scene. Does that have a rect? No. It has a pivot. Has a viewport. That's interesting. Let's maybe debug that. Let's just debug that. See what that is going to give us. Let's see if there's a noticeable difference. Nope. So even the viewport seems to be okay. Let's check. Okay, we could still check if the camera is inside of the viewport with the width and height. I think the width and height are in pixels. But I don't think that it's going to work. I mean, I can just go in here with the mouse inside. And now let's see how many errors we get. And we can see that these values 890 and 623 are between 0 and 1769 and 0 and 749. 94, sorry. So we can't catch that if the mouse is not inside of here, don't do it. I mean, something is weird that it's not doing anything. Sometimes you see that the object that you can drag it outside. But I wouldn't try to fix that. It's actually not important. I use this tool, and this never bothered me, that if you go here to the side that it stops working. I mean, if I'm doing something over here, I don't care about the brush anymore. So I digress from that. Yeah, that is all pretty unfortunate. It seems like we're inside of the camera. Oh, the camera rect is actually this is the camera rect. Ah, so these are equivalent. So it debugs us the actual rect. Add more and more points to a Unity bug. Unity. Between two world. Orthographic. Do we have to look at anything if we're in orthographic? It doesn't say anything. So let's try that again. So we deactivate orthographic mode. Now we don't get the error, I guess. No. Maybe we should Google this error. Into D mode.
Hey everyone, it's Family Jewel 7X. I hope you guys like this top 10 medley. I am planning on doing a lot more in the future, so please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook for more updates on what I'm doing. The entire creation of this top 10 medley was done on my twitch.tv.
I don't understand anything.
If you want to see the creation of the next one. The next one is going to be top 10 file select themes from a video game. So the way to vote for that is down in the comments. Please leave me a comment that starts with hashtag FS file select. And then the
Okay.
game,
Opening, closing will not work.
just be the game. If you leave your top 10 list or ties, whatever, I'm just gonna go with the first thing you say. It's just there's so many votes, that's how I have to do it. So I hope you guys are having a great 2016, and I'll see you next time.
So. Let's see. Oh, this is issue tracker. And maybe we can look into this. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us when these issues were created. By design. Just clean the library? No. Okay. Would be nice if we could. I think this is bullshit. This is just a list with zero information of when this was issued, and if this is open or solved. This is a pretty dumb way to display the issues. Not reproducible. 2015. We know that 2022 we didn't have this issue, so this has to be newer. So let's go back here. How do we make bug report? I guess we have to log in. So going to go into my KeePass. Okay, give me a second for my password. Okay, I actually was logged in all along. Just had to refresh. Once I clicked on it, I was logged in, but I can't open new issues here. Issue here. Unity, open, issue. Create. Okay. So how do I create a bug report from this? They say you have to do it with the bug reporter, but that bug reporter normally just opens up when Unity crashes. So this is bug reporting for Q&A, which we are not part of. And that's why I hate just reporting this somewhere. You have to just post it in the forums and hope that it doesn't die down. Yeah. So I can't open an issue that's just up to Unity stuff, or if you crash, I guess. Oh, this is. Support. Get help. No, this is not where you normally would get this. How do I get it? Sales partner. And this is more sales. If it would be really important, we could probably access the source code of Unity, which would be quite good for us right now, because I think that's where the bug is. Yeah, I guess we can just go into community discussions. We could also go into Discord, write a bug report, and see it die there. It will also die here. You can see that there's not. Is there even a dedicated forum for this? Scripting. Oh yeah, here's where we are able to report things. Unity engine. This is bug. It's editor. It's kind of editor-y. Unity editor. It's version 6.0. And can we define the headline? Oh, there's. How do I insert code? I think it has to be something like this. This is where we end up with. Write the code in here. As I said, I don't think that anybody is going to review this. It's probably just going to die in the forum, but let's at least hope that there's a chance. And then we say for some reason I can't get this into order, just a little bit annoying. Okay, and this is the shortened code. Get the mouse position. I think this is the correct version of the other project. 22.3 reproduce set. So this error, the error is only is only found in very specific conditions. Reproduce set the camera to to 2D. Compile code. Compile code. If the camera is 3D or if the code and the function works fine. The compiling gives the correct mouse position only when compiling. I get about 100. I get yeah, about 100 error messages each time, which is of course not. Hi, Max Verstappen.
Pre-Oviding's adventurer.
Pre-Oviding? What is pre-Oviding? What is that? Hey, what's up? Hi, what's up? What's up? What's up? Pre-Ovidings? What is that? I don't know what that is. What are you trying to write there? That's not a word. Hi. What's up with the blast? Long time not. I have long time not heard from you, and yeah. Let me finish this bug report. Not practical. Okay. Create a topic, and nobody is going to answer on that, I think. So. Yeah, just a bug report. I'm going to make this. Your stream setup is correct. Providings. To provide. That's providing adventure. I'm not sure. Where does it come from? Did you hear this from Baldur's Gate or something? It's still it's still out of context. But it's nice to hear you again, the blast. I actually have been knocking myself against a bug again in Unity. What I usually do. You can see everything is working fine. I can work super nicely, but if I have the camera in 2D and recompile. I just changed something in the code. I just inserted a white space. Now I get these error messages. Let me show that again. I just add empty space here. And now every time it recompiles, it will throw these error messages out of this function. And it will only do so if I have 2D enabled, and it's super annoying. And yeah, I've been working on this for hours now, and I don't have a clue how to fix this. It's again an error that I think should be there. Yeah. So that's how it's going on my side. And I try to I try to get this fixed, but actually I don't have a way to fix it. So I still think the asset in itself is pretty good, but damn, these errors. So nothing seems to change. It's just compiling, and that's the only thing that it's doing. The camera is still there. It's not nulling the camera or something. So it's super weird. Oh, the only fix that I have is plugging in vector 0 inside of this reference. This will fix it, but this of course... Oh, even that doesn't fix it. It's super cool. Even that doesn't fix it. And that's interesting. So if I plug in 0 in here, wow, that's... I cannot believe that I'm the only one who has this issue. Yeah, but pretty much nobody's going to answer on that. Yay, one view, and now it's probably going to be not visible anymore. Yeah, if I click on bucket, no, it's still in here. Yeah. And you see, there's people who reported 3 hours ago. There's 3 views, no comment. I think this is just too specific. Like, even the devs, the devs would be unable to read all this. I mean, if you would be a developer and there's like, on one day alone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 16 bucks per day. Yeah. And you probably can fix 1 bug per week. So no chance that the developers are going to do anything about it. Yeah, but now that's it. Yeah, this has been a very, very frustrating day today because we could actually find, we could pretty much find more ways to reproduce the issue. We can understand exactly what the issue is. Oh no, we we have very good clues about what the issue is, but I cannot really say why the screen is why it says that the position of the mouse, whatever we plug in there, is not inside of the camera cone. Even though if we brute force 000 in there, it seems like, and it says the camera is correct, and only if we recompile, have it set to orthographic, it says that it has problems during compilation. This is how do I put it? I would have to be able to know what it does during compilation that the camera cone is not there. And I actually don't know what it's supposed to do with that. I think it's just doing something inside of its own code. And the code is the cone. I think it's just going to rest for this period. And maybe the workaround would be to, for the next time, to check, is it compiling? And if it's compiling, stop doing anything. It's kind of a brute force kind of thing to do. But I don't see any other way to go around it, since it's a bug inside of Unity and it's out of our control. And with that, I'm going to stop the work for today. Yeah, very unfortunate. I thought this would be an easy fix, because we actually knew exactly the line of code where this is coming from, analyzed it, and end up with a solution that seems to be I would say it works in our case, but in our other cases, you don't always want to stop all your code because Unity is compiling. And even if we do that, there's no guarantee that it's going to work. Probably is going to be complicated, and as I say, I don't even know if a function exists that tells us is Unity compiling right now. But I'm going to stop now and continue tomorrow. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see.